part.
Okay,
The street goes right through the middle where it says site. That will be the street, and there will be lots on both sides.
Okay, but again, that's not,
Okay,
Right now-
and to alleviate the worry, we are going to improve the drainage. There is going to be, we are going to pipe, we are going to follow the 100-year storm event. We are going to overbuild this
Okay,
by
but-
state regulations to control the stormwater.
the future development is not in question here because we
Correct.
don't have
I'm
the
sorry.
authority tonight. We are talking about that one lot.
Yes, sir.
From taking from R2 to R5.
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say one word, sir? No. I live in the last house on Appaloosa, right next to where he's building. That thing flooded me out. I've been there 29 years.
All right,
Okay,
we understand.
okay, thank you.
Flood zone to begin with.
We understand that, yeah, okay. All right, with that said, we are going to close the public portion on this request. Those of you who'd like to stay and listen to the rest, you're welcome to, or if you're going to leave right now, if you could do so quietly, so we can move on. All right, we've got one taker. All right, we're going to move on here. The next one is going to be JDC, right? The next request is from JAD LLC and Adam Levitt to rezone from GA to R5 on Lake Cathy Road, 251 acres. Ethan? All right, please, keep it down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The request before us now is to rezone from general agriculture to rural residential R5. And we see the subject property is entirely zoned in the general agriculture district, consisting of 251 acres, has multiple road frontage along both Reed and Lake Cathy Road. And the petitioner's request is made in order to be able to develop a major subdivision on the subject property. As we look at the zoning, you can see again the subject properties within the GA zone district. We see a number of zone districts in this particular area around the subject property. It's adjacent to multiple districts from the R5 zone district. We have the R2 zone district, the suburban agriculture, estate residential. And we can see here a consistent number, one of the most consistent numbers of adjacent properties. We see the R5 to the south, and then the R2 over to the east. But what we see here is essentially a growing area where we have some larger lots that have been combined and divided and in order to create neighborhoods. And we can see those to the north, the south, and the east. When we look at the petitioner's request with the existing land use, again, not just zoning, but we can see those smaller lots. We can see houses both in the R5 and the R2 zone district. See, the subject property was formerly used for essentially a timber production property or pulpwood production. It was planted pines with the intent to harvest. So we don't note any necessarily other agricultural character on the subject property other than its former use for forestry. Here we see that it's within the rural residential character area in the comprehensive plan. And when we consider this character area in terms of its intent, and that intent's to preserve the rural character of the county, but we see also it's adjacent to the suburban neighborhood and emerging suburban neighborhood character area and what we call a point of convergence where you have growth. And the subject property is adjacent to that on multiple boundaries of the property, showing that it is at that point of convergence of growth, existing growth, and future growth. And that bears some consideration for additional density as has been proposed. So when we look at the comprehensive plan, when we look at the existing development in this area, and of course, any development of the property would be held to the current standards for any street design and access. All of that would be overseen by the county engineer, obviously, and then visibility and accessibility to this property for quite a number of additional future lots. Would likely be restricted to Lake Cathy Road, but that'll be a decision made by a county engineer at a point of preliminary plat if the subject property were to be approved. Site visibility is very clear on Lake Cathy Road at this location. And the petitioner's plans were to, or are to, build single-family detached dwellings. Given the R5 zone district does permit things like duplex dwellings and manufactured homes, that could create some concern with property values and a clash in this area with unit per acre density. So staff recommendation is not to approve the R5 rezoning, but to consider an approval of the R3 medium density zone district. That would allow the same unit per acre lot density as in R5, specifically for single-family dwellings, and would not allow manufactured homes or duplex dwellings that would maintain the single-family site-built character of the other adjacent neighborhoods.
Ethan, just for everybody's benefit, would you mind, or Gene, one, stating for them what the minimum square footage requirements are for R5 versus, R2 versus R3, and then also for the minimum lot size, R2 versus R3, just so they know what your staff analysis is recommending.
So the zone district requested was R5.
I'm sorry, but you recommended R3. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So R5, the 7,500 square feet, and this is, of course, under the condition that sewer is made available to the property. There'll be a 4,100-foot extension of sewer that would need to occur for this to be possible to achieve that density. Of course, that expense would come at the expense of the developer. And there is no concern for, of course, just to mention that as well, no concern for water and sewer capacity issues with the development based on the existing infrastructure, provided that an extension is made. To answer your question specifically, the lot size would be 7,500 square feet, so
that's half
less
of what
than
an R2 zoning would be.
half-
I know this
half
is
of
not
R2.
R2 property, but
Right.
that's a lot of people are familiar with R2. There's a lot of subdivisions that have been around for years are R2. So an R2 subdivision lot has to have a minimum of, is it 15,000 square feet?
that's correct.
R3 is half that size, right?
Correct.
And then R2, the minimum square footage is 1,200 square feet?
Correct. 1,200 square feet.
And then R3, that minimum square footage drops to 1,000 square feet.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And there is no minimum for the R5 zone district. So
Got it.
R3 would create a minimum.
Okay.
I want to be sure, R3 is 1,000 square feet.
Homes.
Yes.
Correct. I understand that. R2 is 1,200.
Correct.
And for some of us, it's easier, or I'll speak for myself, when we talk about 15,000 square feet, 7,500 square feet. What is 7,500 roughly an acre?
It's about a
Quarter
fifth,
or
a quarter to a fifth of an acre. 43,560 square feet
0.17.
So the lot size,
would be about a fifth of an acre.
.172.
okay.
Just had to get that extra decimal, didn't you?
Yeah,
Sewer would be required, yes, sir. For R3, correct.
well, R2.
Yeah, R2
you
would
gotta
have to have it
enough
as well.
room for it to perk, and then to have a backup system if
Yeah.
necessary.
Be tight. R2, if you're on septic, you gotta have 27,500 square feet, so.
It had to be a bigger R2.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where were you?
Just staff recommendation for R3 versus R5. At this location, the R3 to preserve the site-built single-family dwellings. Of course, contingent upon sewer service would allow the same number of lots for single-family dwellings that the petitioner would like to be able to develop, but again, would restrict this development to site-built, single-family detached only, as opposed to the other types of dwellings that are permitted in R5. So that would better protect the surrounding neighborhoods.
And as far as access to that very southernmost point on Reed Road, that would have to be approved by the engineer? the county engineer?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Both of those would be county-maintained roads, so they'd fall under the jurisdiction of the county engineer, and that would occur at the point of the preliminary and the final plat approval process. So that would occur at a later date.
Is that acreage on the city of Varnell or in Whitfield County?
That is a Whitfield County unincorporated parcel.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Okay, JADC, there you go.
Hello, Drew Lewis, 3301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wish Adam Levitt was here. He was originally on the agenda, but I'll fill in for any questions. Definitely, it is our intention to do R3 on this property. It was not R5. I believe that was we misrepresented on the application. It's to do single-family dwellings. It's going to be a mixture of 7,500 to 10,000 square foot lots, just due to the topography of the property.
Okay,
The price range, the square footage of the homes should be range between 1,700, 2,600 square foot. It'll be all hardy, no vinyl siding on the development, so, we're still very, go ahead.
closed garage?
Yes, sir, yes.
Are you guys just doing the infrastructure development, or will you also be building the homes?
Infrastructure development only, yes, sir.
Who will be building the homes?
There'll be a combination of builders. In particular, we've been talking to Century Communities about taking this property. So it certainly could handle up to 3 to 4 different builders. Obviously, first and foremost, public safety, and then as far as accesses, we have several access points we can come off of Lake Cathy and then Reed Road as well.
So you mentioned square footage. If you're not the builder, how do you know what the builder is going to build?
I've asked them, before we came in this meeting, I wanted to know what that was and what are y'all looking for?
So you said a minimum of 1,700?
Yes, sir.
And as much as 2,500,
2,600,
2,600
Yes,
with
sir.
garage?
correct.
What's the anticipated sales price? Do we
It
know,
would,
do we know that?
I don't know exactly, but, yeah, I would say between 280s to 350s if I had to throw a number out, so.
That's what I was looking at, it's $200 a square foot, that's $340 for a 1,700 square foot.
We need to remember,
Mr. Levitt be here.
He's in,
No,
sure, yeah. So he has an adopted son that he's in Las Vegas at his basketball tournament, so he's, yeah.
and what's wrong with R2 for this?
Really, it's a density game. I mean,
cost of
so,
development.
but again, we want to have a. Yeah, so it's a density, we do need to make it worthwhile, but I mean, I could see it being a combination. If there was, R2 and a combination of R3, if that was an availability, but I know that Whitfield County doesn't have that zoning available. But, we know that when we get on, especially on the ridges, it's going to be practically impossible to be able to get a dense lot. So we're fine with doing 10,000 square foot. Even some of them can be up to 12,500. So,
Okay, and you understand that you will be paying for the sewer?
yes, sir. Yep. So,
Questions? John, you look like you want to say something.
I'm speaking for myself and not this board, or y'all, obviously. I feel like Whitfield County has enough of what you're proposing. I think we need $400,000 to $600,000 homes. I think we've got enough lots in the works for the other stuff. And people like me, when I was growing my family, just like some of the people alluded to on the other, I had to have at least 3/4 of an acre. And I think that's more of what Whitfield County needs now. 3/4 of an acre, even up to 2 to 3 acres. And I understand everybody wants to make as much money as possible, but we've got to start sometime looking what's best for everybody. Yes, sir.
Since we're discussing what is personally, you have to remember, Whitfield County is a middle town. Okay? They have $60,000 a year is probably the average of the worker. So everybody would like to live in a $400,000, $500,000 house, but we have to build something affordable. And if anybody has done any development lately, the cost is prohibitive.
You know how
What-
many lots we already have platted?
It don't make any difference.
Gene, do you know? I think that's a great idea, is let's fill up some of these lots that we already have.
Sell them, not rent them.
And that's the last I'll say of it tonight.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Okay,
Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else like to speak in favor? All right. How many people like to speak in opposition? Or how many people here, put your hands down, how many people here are against this proposal? Same people. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you. Again, okay, who wants to speak up? All right, saw this gentleman's hand here on the right first.
My name is Greg Bates. I live at 3133 Langley Drive, which comes off of Crabtree, directly across the road from this development. And so I appreciate everything you just said, John. I agree with it all 100%. And a lot of my concern is the impact it's going to have on two things. One is the roadway. That stretch of Reed Road that comes between Lake Cathy and 201, it's a two-lane road, but simply by definition. Yeah, a lane and a half. And so, and everybody already uses that road because that's where they put the traffic light, there at 201 at the high school. And so, I make my daughter go that way because you're going to take your life in your own hands if you're trying to turn left onto 201 off of Lake Cathy during rush hour traffic. There's always a lot of crashes right there. And so I'm going to give you some numbers here, and I hope these are right on my research. But the Institute of Transportation Engineers, they say you can estimate 9 to 11 vehicle trips per day on the new house. And so we don't know how many homes he's looking here, but if he puts 200 homes, you're looking at 1,800 to 2,200 new vehicle trips per day. And so even if only half of those trips take Reed Road, you're looking at 1,000 vehicles a day trying to travel that road. And that road, it can't sustain it. And based on the way they've built those houses down there now, it'd be extremely difficult and expensive to come back and try to widen it at this point. And so then that's going to put us trying to put up another traffic light or a roundabout or whatever at 201 for safety stuff. And so then my other concern is what it's going to do to our schools. And so, again, if we work off of that 200 number, and they say statistically figure half a student per home, and so that would give us 100 new students just in this area. That's not including the other development that's going there, the one that's going behind New Hope already, the one that's y'all gonna hear about next month, the one at the cricket field. So if we just had 100 new students here, and they say break it down into 40% into elementary, which would put 80 new students into New Hope Elementary, 20% into our middle school, which would be 40 additional students into New Hope Middle, and then 40% into our high school, which would be another 80 into Northwest High School. And so, you know, our school system, they just raised property taxes 10%. And so I don't know how our school systems can, in this area up there with all the development that's going on, it can absorb the number of students that we can anticipate coming in there. And so for these reasons and some of the stuff John mentioned, I ask that y'all deny this request. All right. Thank you
Thank you,
for your
sir.
time.
Anybody else? Speak against? Gentleman in green?
Ronald Tavares. I live at 4045 West Parliament, London Village in Barnell. I'm thinking, it's kind of along the lines he said, look at the impact of the vehicles. Already go to Barnell and look at the impact of the vehicles going through, the traffic. Not only that, look at the impact on our sewage system, our water system. Even look at, you know, like I've said a million times and people get tired of hearing it, that size lot right there, how many trees are they gonna cut? Now, you gentlemen are intelligent, I'm a high school dropout, but what are trees' main purpose besides building? Air purification. If the air is not purified, then you're gonna get groundwater problems. You're gonna have the oils from the cars leaking. You're gonna have more and more, and what kind of crime rate are we gonna have in this type housing? I mean, you can't go out through there and all these little, looks like wood sheds stacked on top of each other that's houses, all in our area. Why could y'all sit here and allow stuff like that and rezone stuff like that? Think of the future for your children, your grandchildren, and for our town that's so sacred, that we've had the best town in the world since I was born. But we need to think about environmental as well as the other stuff. And like he said, think about the taxes on the working people for school. What's our biggest tax problem, people? School taxes. How many people in here are above the age that your children are out of school? Put that tax on the people with us making all these babies and put that tax on them at a payroll deduction. Make a payroll deduction for them.
Yes.
And think more in the lines of, instead of money and big fancy homes, think of environmental for our area. We already have all these carpet industry and chemical plants that dump a lot of stuff that's not good for our environment. And our water treatment plant cannot handle a lot of it.
All right, thanks, sir. All right, we'll take one more. Got his hand in the back.
I know I didn't sign anything, so. Anyway, my name's Philip Lofty. I live at 3451 Lake Cathy Road, which is directly across the street from this site right here. Like I said, I've got 13 acres. My biggest concern, again, is like what he said as far as the runoff, because there is like an entryway to that property across the street from my house, but it all comes into a creek. And there's actually a creek in between my property that's not showing up here on this plat. And like I said, you know, I just built a brand new house, and what they're trying to want to put up there and stuff, I don't want it because it's going to make mine look bad, you know. And I hate to say that, but like I said, you know, like he talked about too, as far as Reed Road cutoff, it is too small. You can't go up through there with a car and a trailer. You have to completely stop and let the other car go by. And then right there coming off of Reed Road onto Lake Cathy Road, everybody thinks that's a drag strip. So, I mean, every day there's 2 or 3 cars running 100 mile an hour down through there. So like you said, you impact 100, 200 homes on that piece of property. And I'm not against anybody building any houses, but I never even seen it come up for sale because I would try to bought it just where somebody wouldn't build across the street from me. And, but like I said, that's my biggest thing. Like I said, I lived in the neighborhood there off Crabtree. I lived there 18 years until I bought the property and built a home. And like I said, I appreciate what you said, because that, I mean, really, I mean, we don't need it. I mean, I grew up in Varnell my whole life, and I couldn't wait to get out of the neighborhood I lived in just to build me a nice house on a piece of property. And like I said, I'm irritated, like I said, so, but that's all I've got to say.
Thank you,
I mean,
sir.
We don't need it.
I'm going to take this last one here, gentleman in orange.
That's Peach.
Peach. Oh,
Peach,
as long
orange.
as it's
I
not,
call it peach.
not Tennessee orange.
Right, how you doing? John Derek Gaypart, I live at 230 Revere Run. So I'm actually through the red light up the hill in between New Hope Elementary and Northwest. There's 2 subdivisions up on the hill. I would ask you to consider, as we live in the cul-de-sac lot, the traffic that backs up from Lake Cathy off this cut road that they're talking about. It's not just a drag strip. It's that times 3 every day. They start at 5:30 in the morning. I can hear them when they rev up their cars. And the problem is, if you build extra property on top of all these houses right there, you increase all that traffic. The roads cannot support it, the schools cannot support it, and our taxes of what y'all continue to do to us cannot support it. I built 10 years ago in Revere Run, and I built there because I'm a graduate of Northwest High School, 2000, okay? And I graduated, but I wanted to live. Why? Why do we all live here? Country living. But not somebody peeking in your back door. All right? So there's enough of that stuff. And I appreciate what Mr. Thomas said here, but he's exactly right. Whitfield County, it's time that we get back to country living and country building. It's not city living, and that's why and I don't think y'all want somebody in your back doors in the city living. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is if y'all do this, you don't just affect that area. The roads alone, from Timber Ghost to Lake Cathy to Rauschenberg to Reed Road, and Reed Road, my goodness, that's got enough problems. But then you got Lake Cathy all the way out to Highway 2, from Varnell going to Ringgold. Where's my church lady? Right here. I can't tell you how many accidents happen off that road. They just mentioned Lake Cathy. You have major traffic on that road. Now they go to Lake Cathy all the way out to Highway 2 where the Dollar General is. I personally help pull a person out of a vehicle because they got T-boned there because people don't stop at the stop sign. We're not paying attention for the safety of our children, and I want my kids to grow up here, and I want them to go to school here. But at the same time, the people who have invested in our towns are sick and tired of watching this get chipped and chipped and chipped away at. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I just ask you for your
Hey, Derek, just for the record, we have zero to do with property taxes.
I'm making I know that. I'm throwing my 2 cents in there while I'm on it, okay? Thank you for your time. Appreciate you hearing our concerns.
All right, thank you. All right,
Would you like to have problems?
You can look at them.
You have it.
JDC, any rebuttal? No rebuttal. Okay, thank you. We're gonna-
I've got a question for him, though. Is that okay?
Okay.
What do you expect, if this was developed to your liking, what the total number of houses would be on that 251 acres? We talking 600, 800, 1,000?
6 to 8, I would say.
Okay. Just, thank you.
One question. Those gentlemen over there. Get to the county commissioners.
I'd
All
like
right.
to ask Jevon a quick question, or somebody on the council. Can we ask questions?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Mr.
Jevon?
Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, real quick. I mean, we've heard a lot of comments about Lake Cathy Road and Reed Road and the challenges that you have in driving up and down those roads. I drove them the other day, looking at that. It wasn't a busy time of day, so they look pretty good to me. What's your position on those roads? Are they insufficient to handle the traffic?
I don't have any traffic studies. I mean, Reed Road, we obviously spent a lot of money on the last year or so. But not above 201, I'm aware, down to the bypass. And then that's on the next SPLOST project list, but it's not currently funded.
To go out during rush hour for the kids in the morning with the school buses trying to make it up and down that hill, the blind hill. It's literally, I've been run off the road with my truck and trailer in a ditch. I can barely get my trailer up and down that road. So I implore everybody on this board to drive up and down there during rush hour, during school hours, just up and down there, not once or twice, a few times
Right.
to see, and in the dark, because that
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah.
I think they've got the
You're
message.
north, yeah. I got you.
All righty. Okay, we're going to move on to the next request,
Which one is this?
which is?
I don't even know.
Aye.
Yep. Give them a minute. to
Is
decide.
aye. Which aye?
I believe it's this.
Can you go back to the,
I believe, it's this one.
Mary Withrow?
Chris and Mary.
okay. All right,
Might have to wait a second.
yeah. All right, we're going to move on to the next request. All right. Let's get 'em out of here. All right, the next request is to hear from Chris and Mary Withrow to change the zoning from R2 to GA. Located 46.9 acres, located along Rollins Ketchum Road. This one is in the county. Chris and Mary Withrow, are you here? Okay, thank you. Ethan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, if y'all don't mind, can we wrap up the conversations or take it outside, please? Thank you.
We have a rezoning before us here, rezoned from single-family, low-density residential to general agriculture. This property is a little over, or just a little under 47 acres. We can see it here, made up of multiple tracts of land, multiple parcels of land, creating the combined subject property, just under 47 acres. And we see that the land surrounding the subject property is zoned low-density, single-family R2. This request, if approved, would rezone the subject property to general agriculture. Of course, those two zone districts do share a similarity in the sense of single-family detached dwelling, but a lot of other different permitted uses like animal husbandry and other agricultural practices that would be allowed in GA, general agriculture, that wouldn't be allowed in the R2 zone district. We did see a request, you may be familiar, last month for the same exact rezoning for a different tract of land, in fact, essentially adjacent to the subject property. So this would be a continuation of that. That rezoning was approved. So we do see this general agriculture desire for general agriculture zoning along Rollins Ketchum Road. And we have two other cases tonight that we will hear with this exact same request, also adjacent to the subject property. What we observe here in terms of character of land use is less that of a suburban neighborhood or a neighborhood pattern development of any kind for that matter, but larger lots, single-family estates, and a number of vacant, undeveloped tracts that are used together or individually for some type of agricultural use, mostly hay pasture and things to that nature. So we do observe the agricultural character in this area more so than, say, a suburban neighborhood that we would typically look at for the R2 zone district. So with all that in consideration and no issue cited with the character area and the comprehensive plan, given that existing agricultural character and adjacent zoning, the recommendation from staff is to approve the rezoning as requested. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you. Mr. Withrow?
It's Chris Withrow. I live at 357 Lower Donville Road. The parcel of land here, and I don't know, there's two more that's be coming up, and I'm also going to be representing those two. This area has, by nature, always been agriculture. Some years ago, this area got blanketly zoned to, but nobody realized why. But it's always been farmed with hay and cattle. A few years ago, the gentleman that had been doing most of the farming had passed away, and myself and Mr. Crow had kind of picked up where he left off, and we were cutting the hay and running a few cattle on this property. We were leasing part of the property, and I recently purchased this portion. My intent in part of the purchase was that the people who originally owned this valley and the families that still do desired to keep this as a family farm. And that was my intent. And so we agreed, and I was able to purchase this. As far as my use, still continuing to raise hay and small cattle. I would want to put my section into the Cougar program. It would be more beneficial for tax purposes, of course, and maintaining it as agricultural land as it is. It's kind of secluded. It's not, it's kind of like the best kept secret in Donville. But, and there's also adjacent parts that we'll be getting to in a minute that we also lease from the family, and we continue to farm it also. But there's no plan to build or change the nature of the land. We just want it back to what it originally was. Any questions?
Nope. I think so. No, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Anybody else would like to speak in favor? Anybody who'd like to speak in opposition? Excellent. We will close the public portion on that request.
I don't know, I thought there was some issue with
There
that.
was a bunch of hands that went up saying they were opposed to it.
Yeah.
That's why we moved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We got confused on that. Okay, the next one, I think is Virginia Bryan. Is,
It should go to Wimpy, start at the top.
okay, back up to the top. Okay. The next one is Mary Wimpy is seeking to rezone from R2 to R5, a tract of land, 2.44 acres at 1364 East Bower Road. This one is in the county also. Ethan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, a request from low-density, single-family R2 to rural residential. I believe we are all familiar with those zone districts from the previous cases tonight, so we do understand what those differences are. And the petitioner's request is stemmed from their desire to be able to place a manufactured home on the subject property, which consists of property you see outlined in bold on the screen there. And in order to do that, they would need this rezoning to R5 would be the least intensive zone district, residential zone district that would allow a manufactured home on the subject property. I believe in the packets last month I had indicated on the adjacent properties that there are quite a few manufactured homes around the subject property and throughout this area, indicating a number of non-conforming lots in the R2 zone district. But what that does show us is that there is a character for manufactured homes in this area. It's not a subdivision that's entirely site-built development. We do see a number of manufactured homes, both adjacent to and surrounding this area. So by rezoning the subject property to R5, based on its size, it's not a highly developable tract of land that would change the character of this area, both either in unit per acre density or in its character, essentially as a single-family dwelling, a manufactured home, and citing no issue there with the character or the density. Again, with the comprehensive plan, wouldn't change the overall development potential for the site. There's no opposition from staff for this rezoning, given that it would not change the character, alter the character of this area if it is approved. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Oh, okay, thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Ms. Wimpy?
I am Misty Moore. I am the daughter-in-law of Miss Wimpy. I did fill out my verification and give that to
Excellent.
Jean.
Good.
We're asking that I be able to put a home behind my mother-in-law on her property. She already has a manufactured home on her property, but I just want to put it behind her so that we can be there with her.
Simple, sweet, yeah. Questions? No. Very good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in favor? Anybody like to speak in opposition? Very well, we will close the public portion on that request. Moving down to Virginia Bryan, right? Is Virginia Bryan here? Is this another Hay production? Yes. Okay, wait, no, he needs to introduce it here. Seeking to rezone from R2 to GA, 29.66 acres at 1475 Rollins Ketchum Road. This one's in the county. Ethan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, similar request, R2 to GA. Again, we've already discussed the zone districts. We've already described the area and seen the development. This would be adjacent to the former property that we just heard a moment ago. Again, we can see the development in the area, comprehensive plan. All elements are exactly the same as the previous case, and the recommendation is also exactly the same, recommendation for approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you. Sir?
I'm just representing Miss Virginia because physically it's difficult for her to come out like this. But this is an extended area that we lease her portion of the property that's pastured, and we run cattle and hay back and forth.
All right, same deal. Questions? Questions? Okay. County? Thank you, sir. Does anybody else like to speak in favor? Anybody like to speak in opposition? Very well, we'll close the public portion on that request. Next one is to hear from John Grant. Mr. Grant, you here? Oh, thank you. To rezone from R5 to C2, 0.96 acres at 2511 Old Chatsworth Highway. This one is in the county. Ethan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have this request to rezone from rural residential to general commercial, which in a lot of cases would be a significant change in zoning, going from residential to the general commercial zone district. We'll take a look at the zoning map. We can see that the subject property is a small tract of land entirely surrounded by the C2 zone district. It was rezoned not that long ago to this R5 zone district when it was up for sale. And the petitioner is now requesting that it be returned to commercial to be used for commercial services, I believe it is, maybe a salon or something like that. The petitioner can, of course, address their specific plan, but they have requested for it to be rezoned back for commercial use. Of course, we would see no issue with the zoning map. All adjacent property is commercial. And we can see here it is very much a commercialized area, so no issue with character. And here we can see it's within the Regional Activity Center, which is primarily for commercial and high-density residential type housing. So we would see no issue with this property being rezoned back for commercial use and recommend approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
No questions. Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Mr. Grant?
Yeah, it's was a house that
Can
they,
you state your name and address? for
oh,
the
I'm
record?
sorry, Mike Grant, 890 Leonard Bridge Road, Chatsworth.
Okay, go ahead.
This was a little house, well, it's still a little house, but they rezoned it to rent it or something, and I'm redoing it. I'm gonna do a beauty shop for my granddaughters.
Okay, nobody's going to live there?
No.
Okay, questions? None? Very good. That's all we need to know?
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to speak in favor? Anybody like to speak in opposition? Very well, we'll close the public portion on that request. Okay, it's to hear from Ken and Faye Shelton seeking to rezone from C2 to R2. 2.2 acres located at 2075 Winwood Drive. This one is in the county.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Is Shelton's here? Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, we have a request from, going from general commercial C2 to low-density, single-family R2. Again, a big change in zoning, but this is very simple rezoning. The petitioner would simply like to bring the subject property back into conforming status. We see here on the zoning map, this entire area essentially except a small island of general commercial zoning. It's all low-density, single-family residential, and that would consist of a spot zone. And so this would help to reduce that island of commercial, better protect the adjacent property values, and reflect the established character of this area. So we can see here the subject property and the surrounding development, again, mostly all low-density, single-family. It's within the emerging suburban character area, which is intended for residential development. So the R2 zone district is the perfect fit for that, based on the existing zoning and the existing development. Staff recommendations to approve. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
None? Thank you, sir. Shelton's?
Yes, my name is Kenneth Shelton, and I live at 2075 Winwood. Been there for 30 years. And we've got about roughly 4 acres of property here. And when the deal happened with Brent Marsh, the insurance companies tied together when we got a machine shop. And when you have property that is your home and a business on that property, your insurance goes out the roof. And 15 years ago, we came, we had it surveyed and thought we had it rezoned. It did never get recorded. So we came back to Miss Jean and talked to her about it. And the only thing we want to do is get it certified to break the business from the house to where the insurance will be at least halfway affordable.
Very good. Any questions? Nope. Very good. Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak in favor? Anybody like to speak in opposition? Very well, we'll close the public portion on that request. Next one is to hear from James and Iris Shirley. Are you here? Oh, sorry, God. It's earning his keep. Seeking to rezone from R2 to GA, 15 acres located along Rollins Ketchum Road in the county. Ethan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, same location, same zoning, same maps, same recommendation to approve from the staff.
Questions? None? All right, thank you. Anybody else like to speak in, oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Shirley, step on up one more time. Or not Mr. Shirley, but.
The Shirleys are traveling.
Yeah, right.
And that's why. they
I'm
asked
just
me
going to call you that.
And it's another section that we lease from them also, and I think that's their desire is, he's got about 15 acres of it left.
Can you get a little closer to the microphone?
I'm sorry. He has about 15 acres left. I had purchased the other portion from him.
Yeah.
And I think his desire is to possibly get it into the Cougar program also, because we farm it too, so.
Okay. All righty, no questions? Very good, thank you. Anybody else like to speak in favor? In opposition? Close the public portion of that. And I think the last one is in the city of Dalton. The commissioners will be leaving us at this time. Wayne Burgess, are you here? Very good, thank you. Wayne Burgess is seeking to rezone from M2 to R5, 0.25 acres located at 913 Riverbend Road. This one is in the city of Dalton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we look at the zoning map for this case, we see that it's currently zoned M2. The request would be to rezone it to R5. Again, rural residential would allow duplexes, single-family dwellings, and manufactured homes. We look at the zoning map in this area, and we do see the M2 zone district as one of the dominant zone districts. But what we see just north of the subject property are some residential zone districts, R5, R6, along New Doris Street, along Riverbend Road. We have what we call a pocket neighborhood. And that pocket neighborhood has existed for quite a number of years. And what we've seen in the last few years is the desire for property owners and developers along this area within this pocket neighborhood to rezone these properties back into conformity for their residential use. And so that's what we see here, request in order to do that, to bring it back into its residential character. Again, we see the R5 zone district to the north. Again, we see adjacent residential development to the north and a consistent adjacent residential development within this greater pocket neighborhood, mostly along New Doris Street. So we see that character for residential. We can see a close look at the subject property. Currently has a single-family detached dwelling on it. The petitioner did note in their application that they would like to develop the property with a duplex. The petitioner may be able to speak in greater detail as to how they do wish to achieve that. But the zoning itself, the R5 district, again, adjacent to the north, and is a good zone district for this location based on the size of the property, the size of the existing house, and the size of and character of the other homes within this pocket neighborhood. Be happy to answer any questions, and the recommendation from staff would be to approve the rezoning as R5 as requested.
Questions?
I just got a quick question. I think it was maybe 2 meetings ago, we approved one that was, I think it was 2 tracks north, and we put it in R6.
Correct.
What would be the reasoning, I guess, why the difference when they're right there together?
That property was a larger size, so they may be able to reach, maybe potentially have the opportunity for a triplex, you know, if they're able to meet the setbacks and parking restrictions and things like that.
So we think that you could put just one structure on this building, right?
On the subject property, absolutely. There's no opportunity for division on this property.
Okay, no questions? Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Mr. Burgess?
Hello there. I'm Wayne Burgess. Yeah, I'm just asking for y'all to rezone the property where I can.
Can you give us your address, please? Your address?
311 East Emory Street. Yes. This would allow me to tear down an older 50-plus-year-old house and make it feasible where I could build something brand new, neat and clean with all the new up-to-date stuff and make the whole neighborhood look bad. Just like when y'all rezoned the guy just north of me. He's doing the same thing and make the whole street look better. So that's all. So I just asked for y'all to give me the rezoning.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else would like to speak in favor? In opposition? And that is our last request for the open meeting. You're welcome to stay and listen in, but you will not be able to partake in any of the discussions. Okay. What's this? Adam Levitt, discussion.
Which one are we talking about here, though?
Which one?
Single lot.
Levitt. The last
Percheron?
R2.
Percheron? Okay. So, discussion, comments?
I move to deny.
I second.
Octavio makes a motion to deny, Chris seconds. All in favor of denial, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Percheron property is denied. The next one is JADC LLC. This is the 251 acres at Lake Cathy. Comments?
I move to be approved as the recommendation.
Which is the R3, okay. Yeah,
I disagree.
Let's just, okay, let's hang out there and,
Is there a second, first of all?
yeah, there's,
I'll second.
is there a second?
I second Octavio.
Okay, all in favor of approval?
Are we going to, do we discuss it also?
We should have the opportunity to discuss.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought we discussed before that. Anyhow, okay, discussion.
Okay, my issue with it is, one, infrastructure. I agree with everything that was mentioned about Lake Cathy north of 201 and Reed Road. I'm familiar with both of those roads. And we're looking at 600 to 800 homes with the average lot size being .172 to a quarter of an acre in size. There's lots of other neighborhoods in that area that have come online in the last couple of years. And I understand the affordable housing that gets tossed around. That is simply too many homes in an area where the infrastructure does not permit that type of growth and development right now. It may at some point down the road, but I'm very dead set against it, in my opinion.
In my opinion, I think it is too much. I'd like to see it stay R2.
Well, it's general agriculture right now.
Go to R2. But
Now,
even
I
then,
would be
that's gonna
fine
a
with
lot of
R2.
traffic.
I'd be okay with R2.
Just looking, like I spent some time this afternoon looking at maps on GIS, and virtually everything in that area that has a home built on it right now would fit the R2 characteristics in those half-acre to .67 acre lot sizes. There's very, very few that would have a comparable lot size to what's proposed.
Still going from GA to even to R2, there's gonna be a lot of
That's
increased
true,
density.
that's true.
Reed Road
'Cause if you do-
is a nasty road.
Yeah, and if you do the math on 250 acres in general agriculture, you're talking, in theory, 40 plus or minus poultry houses, if somebody wanted to.
Right, that's what you're right, that's what you're looking at right now is if someone decided to buy that thing, they decide to sell this, and they put poultry houses there, which would be allowed under its current, how would these same people feel? I don't think anybody in this group wants to see poultry houses.
Right.
So I'm looking at somebody, like Octavio said earlier, we're looking for affordable houses, $180,000 to $250,000 houses. That's a fairly nice house. Now, I realize there's a lot of them in this area, but we're talking 600. This isn't an apartment complex where you build it and you have the people move in tomorrow. This is a subdivision that's going to get developed over a period of time, and if nobody's buying these houses, it won't go to 600. They'll stop building. They're hoping it goes to 600. But, so it's that kind of situation. I look at affordable houses and look at that area is undeveloped. I mean, it's not very developed or dense out there. I don't know the Reed situation, the Reed Road and the Lake Cathy like y'all do.
That
'Cause
whole area around Rauschenberg, around New Hope Middle, around Northwest High, the road situation north of 201, Reed Road is not the same north of 201 that it is south of 201. It's a
terrible.
very different road. That's not even comparable.
Big trouble.
Some money, some county money went into improving Reed Road south of 201. But that little cut through from Reed Road over to Lake Cathy, it's bad.
So let me ask you this question, because you guys are more familiar with this, but I'm hearing a lot of comments about taxes, and I hear you. But to me, undeveloped property is probably producing virtually no tax revenue. You put 600 houses in there, you're going to have a good-sized tax revenue increase. So there's going to be a situation where you're looking at, it's not like those houses are not going to generate some tax
My
income.
concerns are not necessarily fiscal as it relates to property taxes or services for those folks. It's changing the character of that area. That's the issue that I've got with it. And that is dense. I mean, you're talking about 800 houses on 250 acres. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think that whole area there has developed very rapidly, and it's outpaced the infrastructure that's underlying in that area. I mean, a ride through there at 7:30 on a weekday, and you'll see.
I interrupted you, I apologize. Octavio, what do you want to say?
I'm still with the motion. So, second, so.
Eric, any comments? Nope,
Like it.
you don't like it. Okay, so, any further discussion, or
can
we
make
vote
a-
on the motion?
You can make another motion and.
So you've got a first, you got a second, call
Got
the
a
vote.
first, a second, call vote. All in favor of zoning change, say aye.
Zoning change to our.
To R3?
R3.
Aye.
Aye.
That's two for, all opposed?
Nay.
Nay?
No.
Nay, nay, 3-2 opposes. Excellent. You got that, Ethan? So the zoning change has been denied. That's a first.
You mentioned rezoning at R2. I guess my question on this thing is, you know,
No.
No.
There's a need to be a motion to deny.
Well, they make a motion to second.
It was 3-2 for denial.
3-2, the approval failed.
Yes.
Will he make another
I think
motion?
Robert's asking for a motion to deny.
If that's your intent, you need a motion to deny. I move we deny.
Okay. All in favor of denial?
Aye.
Aye.
All against denial?
Nay.
Eric.
Okay. Yeah, I missed that.
Me too.
That's Robert's rule.
That's good. So if we look at this, when we talked about earlier about the chicken houses and stuff that can go on that property as it exists today, would we ask that the development crew look at an R2? Or is that not something that we could ask? Like Ethan proposed an R3 and his group.
I think an R2 would fit the
So if
conformity
you,
better.
if you proposed an R2 for that area, then you at least you prevent something that may be unacceptable to people and change as Chris said earlier, change the entire, atmosphere of that area.
Well, I would agree with what you're saying, only with this exception, is if, before we would say, let's encourage them to consider R2, that is gonna completely and totally change what the potential density and how they might use that. I mean, I think that's up to the petitioner, that if this, when it goes before the county commissioners, if they too deny it, they could approve it. But if they denied it, at that point, I think the petitioner goes back and sits down and they say, is this a viable project with an R2 zoning and the restrictions that come with that? And if they decide that they would like to pursue an R2, then certainly we'd be open to looking at an R2 rezoning. But without knowing what they would want to do with an R2 zoning, their sewer is not there at the moment.
Because hypothetically, assuming you had sewer, you could do
Yeah, but still be,
15,000 square feet lots.
you would still at R2 have a greatly increased density.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
It'll be reduced from R3 to R2, but
You'd still be looking at,
density there
you'd still
would
be
be-
looking at 400 plus
Okay.
homes.
yeah, exactly.
No more discussion,
you.
yes.
No, we're just chatting.
But if they want to come back with that after they do their homework, we'd be more than happy to,
Okay, let's move on to the ones we have left. The Withrows, are we on the same page?
Knock out all three of them?
Okay, these are the hay production.
I move to approve.
Well, let's talk about, everybody agreed to go with all three?
Yes. Second.
Let me pull them out here, make sure we get this for the record.
Yes.
Okay, Kevin makes a motion to,
Witherow, Bryan, and
yeah, Withrow, Brian, and Shirley. Okay. We're going to consider all three of those together. Is there a motion?
I think
do
Eric,
we have a second?
Eric, I
We
think
have a
Eric
second.
seconded.
Steve
A
seconds.
second.
All in favor of Chris and Mary Withrow, Virginia Bryan, and James and Iris Shirley. They are the hay producers, hay properties.
Say
All
aye.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. I'm all out of order here.
Grant?
Get Grant, John Grant, okay. This is the C2? Okay, that's just,
Move to approve. Second.
that's Octavio first, Chris seconds. All in favor of approval, say aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it. Next one is a Shelton. Anybody deal with that?
So move.
Second.
Okay, Brad first, Chris seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, the last one is the one in Dalton. Wayne Burgess.
Move to approve.
Octavia makes a motion to approve. Eric seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Again, I think we've got Mary Wimpy.
Eric.
Oh, we got that. Oh, we got one more. Where?
Mary Wimpy.
Yeah, Mary Wimpy. Well, we're not going to change the agenda around again.
Sorry about that.
Mary Wimpy, that is the
Adding the.
I'll make a motion, we
manufactured home.
approve.
mobile home.
Second,
Uh,
whoever.
Steve makes a motion. Brad seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay, I think that's anything. Oh, here she comes. Just got one.
Thank you, ma'am. I know where it's at.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
He's going to abstain.
I'm gonna abstain from this one, Gene.
This is what we call preliminary plat, meaning a major subdivision where they're building new roads. It's inside the city of Varnell. You can visualize the McDonald's in Varnell at the corner of 2 and Cleveland Highway. This is directly to the east. It
Yeah.
has frontage on Georgia 2 and frontage on Old Craters Mill. Inside the city of Varnell. Has a strange zoning that we don't deal with very much, it's C1A.
Do whatever they wanna
C1A
do
is
with it.
called limited commercial, but it does allow residential. And so in this case, that's what they're doing, is building a single-family residential subdivision. The setbacks in C1A are a little bit less than they are in other residential zoning districts. You only have a 15-foot front setback, a 10-foot side setback, and 20-foot rear setbacks. They're trying to do 31 lots. They've already been approved for their stormwater plan, their fire hydrant plan. They're gonna have public sewer from Dalton Utilities and, of course, public water. So they have, is Brandon's here. Brandon will tell you that he's jumped through every possible hoop that we've asked him to do to get to this point. So this is his preliminary plat. If you give him approval, that means he can go out and start putting in his infrastructure and doing his land disturbance. And then after that, when he gets to that point, where he's got those roads constructed and his pads ready, then he can start getting his building permits. And that will not come back to you. The final plat will be administrative. We will
Yeah.
just make sure that he's.
Signatures.
everything that he plans.
So how large are these lots?
I didn't bring my glasses up here.
I want to do like this on the paper.
Here you go.
Yeah, this doesn't work.
300 square feet to 40, or to 5,000.
5,300, 4,400.
This been approved by Varnell already?
I'm sorry?
It's been approved by Varnell? This is in the city of Varnell?
This is in the city of Varnell. You, now that Varnell has joined our subdivision regulations, you oversee their platting.
So 5,300 doesn't seem like a very big lot. How big a house are you going to build on it?
Very small.
It's 10 per acre. It's a very small lot,
Yeah,
but the zoning allows it.
and it's already zoned,
Already zoned that way.
so.
I mean, actually, it was rezoned that way probably 2 years ago, maybe?
Okay. So a zone, the one thing we're looking at is the road access? Or what are we approving or being asked to do?
No, you're approving the
plat.
preliminary design of this subdivision.
Okay.
Everything that has to do with roads or
You mentioned hoops that he jumped through. What kind of hoops did you make him jump through?
just his, land development design for stormwater. He's got it coming in two different directions, the, turnarounds, the detention pond, the road design, everything. I mean, the development costs are no joke. You know, you're talking about people building
Yeah.
larger lots. It's,
You can't do it anymore.
a developer can't. We're not gonna get subdivisions like that.
People keep forgetting that Highland Forest is 50 years ago. If we wanted to grow in Whitfield County,
Well, we could all buy a house 30 years ago, too.
Yes.
Kids today are not buying houses because they have.
listen, a $300,000 house is gonna cost you $400,000 at least, right? Okay? When you have a city or a county that is manufacturing mainly, the average income is $60,000 a year. $60,000 a year allow you to have, if you have a good credit and you have no debt, you have a payment of $1,800. And
And the average house sale in Bill County for the past 12 months is $255,000.
that's correct. The cost of development today, the cost of land, I mean, well, anyway.
Okay.
We need to
So-
grow. If we need to grow, we need to play with the field we have.
These are gonna be, how
Now-
big are these houses?
now
Pro-
we-
Probably,
Minimum 1,200 feet.
yeah.
Trying to pick out a garage, one car garage with a house.
So they might have garages,
I'd like
maybe.
to, I'd like to, it's just,
I mean, it's it's a small lot,
when I started it 9 months ago, things were a little different than they are today.
yeah, so,
When the subdivision's finalized in another 9 months.
yeah. Okay,
We keep talking about that the roads need to be improved, the roads need to improve now. I mean, every road in the county, with the exception of Cleveland Highway, probably, is meet the specifications. Now, if the schools are needed, so be it. I don't think we can stop
yeah,
just because we don't like small houses.
yeah. All right, can we make a motion? Can I make a motion?
Yeah.
No, I move we approve.
Chris makes a motion to approve.
I want to talk about something that it concerns me, and I don't know if people, I don't think it's, like, we got this Friday, and I don't want to spend my weekends going looking for property. I don't know if it's any way possible that we can get, not necessarily the full commitment from the staff, but if we know which properties are going to be rezoned as they come in.
Ethan, what day did you send the email? Because I looked at the link.
I sent it, 1 week.
About a week prior.
I said you could have looked at it a week beforehand.
Without your recommendation.
Yeah, without the staff recommendations.
Applications.
Yeah. Well, I guess what he's asking for is can that be moved up?
No, if we can get it a week before,
It'll be online.
well, I mean,
I can get it online.
online is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
If we can get it released 1 week before, without any recommendation.
Okay,
I usually try to give it to you more than a week in advance, but I was a little late.
all right,
Last week, so I got a reminder.
good.
Yeah.
It was a motion. Chris makes the motion to approve the plat. Second. Eric makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Make a note that I'm abstaining from that one, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot about that. Make a motion to adjourn, but Octavia wants to say something, or to me?
Ready to, no, we.
That was it. Oh, okay.
That was what he wanted.
Okay.
Gene, thank you for sending me mine early.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Gene sends me hers early.
Yeah.
Areas that have larger lots, and they're all of a sudden 1,000 homes.
See the rental property settle down, see what happens there. We'll go get something.
The rezoning is a few years.
box right here.
That's a fun meeting, huh? Don't know how many people were out back.
You know, we had discussion, talked about it, we voted on it.
Okay, yeah, next time around. Mess with the agenda too much.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm sorry.
No, you did right, but, I got all screwed up.